Hi, and welcome to another episode. On today's episode, how eBay is robbing, the eBay payment management system explained. First things first, I'd like to start with describing and showing you the model that we've, and I presume a lot of businesses currently operated before the eBay mandatory thing with managing payments stepped in. So, let's say you've sold something today. You've got that much money. You will sell something tomorrow, and on the day 3 you will also sell something. So all of them payments will accumulate on your PayPal account, which is all good, because every single time you want to know how much money you've got, all you have to do is see your eBay fees and deduct that from your current PayPal balance. You will end up with the profit amount, or rather gross profit, I guess. And if you know how much you should be paying or buying supplies and paying staff and paying bills and stuff and so on, at every single given moment you will be able to tell how much money you've got or how much more money you have to earn. What I've seen so far with eBay managed payments is that you can withdraw the funds either, it will be automatically transferred to your bank account, but it will be either daily or it will be weekly. Which means now every single transaction would have to be followed in order to replicate the system that was in place before. Because obviously, in order to calculate how much money you've got, how much money you've got to still earn, you will have to pretty much follow on daily basis the whole entire process. Not speaking of that, the timely manner is non-existent. What eBay says is, after the payment has been completed by the customer, in 2 days' time, they will make the payout. Which is kind of okay, maybe, depending on how big is your cash flow, let's say. But what they don't say is that the payout will take 3 to 4 working days in order to appear on your bank account. So if we take this, then there's 2 days that your funds will be held, and then there's up to 4 days that it will take to transfer the funds. So that's 6 working days together. That's more than a week from the time the buyer has made the purchase that you will see your funds, regardless of what's the amount of funds, regardless of whether you've sent the package or not, regardless of what your status as the seller is, the seller rating, so to say. Any way, shape or form of receiving funds, unlike PayPal, which is after you've been a PayPal customer for a while, for more than a month, then the payment is pretty much instant, and then you withdraw your funds to your bank account instantly if you wish to do so. Or like we accumulated it for a month, and at the end of the month, when we knew all of the expenses and incoming payments and outgoing payments, we were able to see whether we made a profit or we made a loss, or we need to buy something else and we don't have enough funds, or the other way around, and so on and so forth. But with eBay now, you will absolutely have to wait more than a week or 6 working days in order to receive the money that you've made from selling. That alone is already bad enough for the individual sellers who resell stuff or sell less stuff and just supplement their income, let's say, who are not fully dependent on the eBay. But obviously for the businesses it is quite a nuisance as well. But the main thing lies within the new fees. Let's speak numbers here now, because obviously math is important, and whether this makes any sense for anybody we'll figure out next. Because Obviously, I've made and looked through the whole eBay type of list and the descriptions and everything, and I've accumulated this for you here. So, the new system works like this. You will pay eBay category. Each category will have its own set of percentages, plus an additional 30p on top of the sale price. So, if you're listing, I'll get to the categories and what the percentage is for each category slightly later, but for this, let's just keep it simple. It's the category determined thing plus the 30p. So now if you're listing in two different categories and one category has a lower percentage than the other one, regardless of where or which category your item sells in, you will pay the highest category. So let's say one of them is 5%, the other one is 10%. Regardless of where it was sold or as what it was sold, you will still pay the 10%. Oof, eBay. The next thing is, besides that, if your rating is below standard, then you get additional 4% fees on top of that. As well as if you get a very high, we'll have to see how much is that, a very high not as described items returned, you get additional 4% on your fees. So if the previous two come together, let's say your but category fee is 10%, then you can get easily 8% on top of that just by having someone screw with you, because obviously when you're a low volume seller, the not as described can be achieved, very high not as described return level can be easily achieved by people misreading your guidelines or the application guidelines or manuals or something else, and try to use a chair as a table, and then they say not as described and so on and so forth. You know how it happens typically on eBay. However, there is a single discount available if your sales for the past 3 months, gross sales, if they have accumulated on the amount greater than £25,000, so less than £10 a month, then you will get a minus 4% on your fees. It's not that hard to achieve that amount of sales, but still, basically, if you are just starting out, you are pretty much screwed with huge fees. Well, I mean, I'll give you the representation of what it currently stands as and what it will mean with selling. What does it equal to sell with eBay managed payments? There we go. But there's more than that, more fees to come, as in, well, I mean, they're already in place, but here they are. If you're selling internationally, then you get, for Europe, for example, additional 0.5% sales fee. So that's gross sales. That includes your the item cost, that includes shipping, that includes everything that there is to include, and you get another 0.5% on top if you sell to Europe. If you sell to America or Canada, I do believe it's 1.8%, and rest of the world it's 2% extra. Not only that, as you know, Europe is using euros, so the eBay will be converting the funds automatically in order to deposit them onto your account and afterwards to your bank account. They will also charge a fee there, so that's additional 2.5% on all of the currencies that's not native to you. So if you're in the UK like I am, that will be pounds. Any payment that will be made in not pounds sterling, you will be charged at 2.5% of the total amount. The best thing is, it's not even that, it's more than that, for the single reason being, all of the above will be plus VAT. So that's another 20% on top of the fee, but it's not on the total sales, gross sales, it's on the fees themselves. So if you get charged 10% plus 30p, so that's 10% plus 30p, and of that amount you calculate your VAT. That's value added tax for you non-UK watchers. Now let's get to an example. Let's say you're selling an item for $3.99. So how did it resulted so far for you if you were in the UK, let's say? So you're selling an item for $3.99. So the eBay fees currently are 3.4% plus 20p. So 3.4% of $3.99 is 13.6 pennies. Another 20p on top is the, as I've said, 3.4% plus 20p on top. And that equals now to 33 pence and 33.6 pence. There you go. And then you pay your default £10, that would be drastic. 10% eBay fee on top, which of $3.99 is easy to calculate, and that's 39 pence. But that's not all of it, because eBay charges VAT on that. So eBay, the VAT on 39 pence comes to 7.9 pence. So together, the eBay fee comes to 47 pence rounded roughly. So after selling an item for $3.99, you get yourself fees to be paid at a total amount, the eBay fees plus PayPal fees plus VAT on eBay fees, and you get yourself to pay 81.5 pence. Which leaves you with £3.18 in profit, in gross profit supposedly, because you've still got to pay a bunch of different stuff and things. But let's see how this compares to the eBay current system, the eBay managed payments, speaking of which, the last amount was £3.18. So, currently, let's say I'm selling in art, which is the vinyl decal category. So that is a total of 19.9, sorry, that's 10.9%. I'm all over the place today. Which equals to, from $3.99, 10.9% is 43.5 pence. And then you get your 30p on top. So in total, so far it equals to 73 pence, 73 and a half pence so far. But that we have to add a VAT on top. So on an amount of 73.5 pence, we are adding VAT of 20%, and that equals to 14.7 pence. That's a VAT on top of eBay fees. In total, altogether, it comes to 88.2 pence. Now, this leaves you with £3.10 in gross profit. Compared to the last one, it was £3.18. Pence. Therefore, we are at a loss of 8 pence per item sold just by eBay managing its thing. And that's if we don't have the item listed in two categories with the higher price. That is if we do not have the seller rating below standard. That is if we do not have a very high, not as described return level. And we are not selling to Europe or any other country for that matter. And that is also if the payment has been made in pounds sterling and not any other currency. Then we are losing 8 pence on just eBay doing its thing. Let's flip aside and a page and see what the bigger amounts would equal to if you're selling something more expensive than $3.99 as the previous example was. So let's say you're selling something for 150 quid. Could be a laptop, could be, I don't know, sunglasses. Let's see what it equals to currently. So with PayPal, 3.4% plus 20 pence would equal to a, let's have a look, £5 and 10 pence plus 20 pence on top, so that's £5.30 altogether. That's PayPal fees, and eBay 10% would be of 150. Again, easy calculations. That's £15. But there's a VAT on top. 20% of 15 quid. That's 3 quid. So total, that's 18 quid. So currently, we add 5.30 and 18 pounds together, we get 23 pounds and 30 pence is what you're selling your items and getting your gross profit today of 2 days ago with PayPal system, and that equals to 126 pounds and 70 pence that you're getting in gross profit. That's 126.7 hundred pounds. Now with eBay managed payments, let's say you're being charged at the same rate of 10.9% plus 30p on top. So you're getting of 150 quid, your 10.9% is equaling to 16.35 pence. Sorry, 16 pounds and 35 pence plus 30 pence on top. That equals to 16 pounds and 65 pence. With VAT on top of that amount, which equals to 3 pounds and 33 pence, you get your total deductions of 19 pounds and 98 pence. That equals to the amount remaining, or gross profit, to 130 pounds and 2 pence. In this case, we can see that we are getting extra 4 pounds and 32 pence. Extra you're saving if you're selling a large amount, which is as I presume, the current eBay policy to drive sales of not a large quantities of smaller items, but to drive people to sell more expensive stuff on eBay. I'm not sure why they have chosen this policy or this manner of action, as you know, there's a bajillion of sellers that are selling small stuff, and this will slowly eliminate them, because I don't think quite a few people have the margins. But also why, I do understand why eBay doesn't like the not smaller sellers, but sellers that are selling items at a lower margin, or rather lower price, because obviously with them charging 10%, it's not making any money for them. So let's say they can charge, someone's selling something for, I don't know, £1, right? So 10% of that is 10 pence. With VAT on top, that will make it 11 pence, okay? So 11 pence they are making of each transaction. Let's say this seller is selling screws of all of the other items. So if the seller will sell, let's say a very realistic something, 1,000, right? So we've got 11 pence, multiply that by 1,000. That has made an eBay a gross profit of 110 pounds. And obviously 110 pounds for a corporation like eBay is way below what they would like to have. eBay is taking the side of making more money at the cost of sellers, and this is a trend now, as for quite some time, even prior to us selling on eBay, I've noticed that there is more and more stuff that is getting transferred to the seller rather than eBay paying it out. And while I do understand that every business needs to make a profit, every model can be tweaked to increase the revenues and stuff like that, but I mean, there is always a point, a straw that breaks the camel's back, if you will, where sellers that are well established, that are selling hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of items on monthly basis, will look at that and say, you know what, for 10% that I'm paying eBay, or 15% that I'm paying eBay, or whatever the case might be, I might just spend this all money on marketing. So instead of having eBay and then selling through eBay, they would just have their own platform, Shopify or Magento or WordPress or anything of that sort. Wix for someone maybe even useful. But by paying 10% in Facebook ads or Google ads or something like that, this will possibly drive even more customers for some. And well, I mean, this is the way we're all gonna go, because this is almost the straw that broke the camel back for us, and we are rapidly developing technologies to allow us to sell freely, so to say. I won't go into too much details on that just yet, but we're also developing a different selling platforms, and we will try to actually leave eBay, well, as soon as possible, because not only as a seller you're getting less and less protection each time, by the day it's getting easier for customers to return the items for whatever reason they want without any consequences, and you would have to pay pre-approved shipping labels, you would have to pay the product cost of the product, cost of the labor to manufacture the product, well, shipping both ways obviously, and then there's eBay fees that are partially getting refunded and not refunded. And speaking of that, here's another point for you. There is now a dispute fee. What I presume it to be, well, here's the description. What I presume this to be is if anybody opens any claim and they return the item and you fail to refund the customer, or for some reason the customer isn't happy with what you've done, and they will open a case, and if that case will be, well, if they open a case and if you lose that case, which is about 90% of the time, that's 90, that's not 9, that's 90, or not even 19, that's a lot. 9 times out of 10 you will lose your case against any seller on eBay, against any customer on eBay. And if you are found at fault as a dispute result, you will be charged £14 plus VAT on that. Let me just calculate quickly what is the total amount on the so that's right, so £16.80 is the total amount you will be charged in pounds sterling for a transaction that the customer might as well frauded, and you won't be able to do a thing. Imagine selling something for £1, £2, £3, £5, even £10, and the customer fraudulently returns it. So you've paid shipping, you've paid return shipping now, which equals to £3.48, if I'm not mistaken. And now you have to return, maybe even the customer returned not what the customer purchased from you. So let's say you're selling a phone case. So you're selling a phone case, that's a tenner, and you've sent that to the customer. The customer then returns, saying not as described, let's say, returns you a rock, a piece of stone, and says not as described. So now you've got no product. Now you've got you've paid 2 shippings, and you're refusing to make a refund or something. But let's say you even do pay a full refund of a tenner. Now you're out, what, 15 quid or something? Slightly more even, I guess. And now the customer opens the case to milk you even further for whatever reason. And if you're found, well, guilty, or you lose the dispute, you will pay additional £16.80 for that. How is that for a customer service and seller-driven eBay as a platform? Wow. Instead of getting your funds the same day, you will have to wait more than a week or up to 6 working days to get your hands on the funds. In addition to that, you're facing higher percentage, depending on the category you're selling, higher fees from eBay itself directly. You are now less in control of the fees you're getting. You're potentially facing more more fraudulent transactions, and the more transactions you have that are being returned, the more fees are being increased, and you won't be able to do anything with that either. And basically, if you sell to outside of the UK, then obviously you're getting your international fees, your currency fees, and all the good stuff that eBay currently offers, and that all of it is mandatory. And now you're getting a dispute fees of £16.80. Good luck making money on eBay or selling on eBay. As I've said, we are developing further strategies to bypass eBay altogether, and if I've spoken to the colleagues of mine that we work with, in order to progress the business further, that we have to move out of eBay, and the sooner the better. Currently, it's a matter of urgency to establish a different route of selling and to pretty much leave this platform. So that's my explanation of how this works, what it is, what it means for small, medium, large businesses, and so on. And I'll let you decide what are you gonna do with this, because obviously the only option for you, if you don't have any other sources developed of income, if there's no other cash flow sections, well, you should have thought of that earlier, but obviously everything comes with experience. And I'd strongly recommend looking at other platforms to sell on. And yeah, hopefully, well, I mean, if you don't do that, then the only option for you is to comply. eBay will continue to throw more fees, more restrictions, more everything, and it will all come at your cost, and you won't be able to do anything, because the only alternative for you, unless you're prepared, is either to sell on eBay or not to sell on eBay. And this is a prime example of a monopoly. They are exploiting their position, if you will. But that will be it for this episode. Hopefully you didn't fall asleep during me calculating the fees for you, and you've actually gotten some useful information and can now make an opinionated debate on what it is, how it will work for you. And I'll obviously leave the links describing the seller fees and the categories in the description, because there are way too many of them, and you will find your own category in there and the fees that apply to you from now going forward, from 2 days. That this is already on going forward, but it seems to be that now this will be the case for all of us. So hopefully we can survive this, and we'll see you next episode.